Willie Candler on first down, fakes to Jackson, a pump fake, and will fire it right down the middle.
Got him!
We got a big play to the 40, the 30, down to the 25.
He made it ball!
10-5, Shannon.
Touchdown! No flags, Mitch.
What a beginning to Danico Carter. It was Danico with the catch on his senior day, and Willie Candler has not thrown a better-looking ball all year long. And hello again, everybody. Welcome into the David Dean Postgame Report, brought to you by SMI Systems and Methods. And not a happy Saturday afternoon on senior day against the West Florida Argonauts. Coach Dean, we did some good things, but the second half especially kind of belonged to them, and it turned out to be a very tough afternoon.
Well, it was. We had an opportunity in the first quarter on our second drive to go down there and score a touchdown and go up 13-0. And I had to settle for a field goal, end up getting another touchdown. I mean, we had opportunities to put them away early and give them credit. They hung in there. They kept fighting. They started making plays. They started getting some momentum. The catch right before the half, I think, gave them a tremendous amount of confidence again. And they came out in the third quarter, and we couldn't stop them. They were running up and down the field. They were making plays, converting on third down. The biggest thing, I think, was their yardage on first down. They were always in second and short. And you're not gonna get teams off the field that way. But again, give them credit. They played a great football game. But I bragging on our guys. They didn't give up. They kept fighting. We had an opportunity to get back down in there and score to win the game. Just unfortunately, it fell incomplete.
What does it say about the character of a football team where a lot didn't go well for us, especially after the first quarter, that you still gave yourself a chance on one play? And heck, with a couple of guys we have at wide out, who knows what happens?
Well, you're right. And what a great effort by JJ, and he just got that foot just slipped out of bounds on the return. Otherwise, we're fixing to have the ball on about the 2 or 3 yard line to win the game. Again, that's the fight in our kids. It was a great effort by them. It's just the second quarter and third quarter. If we play better in those 2 quarters, it's a different ball game. And unfortunately, it's a 4-quarter game, and they ended up making one more play than we did.
We ran it so well on these guys, Coach, early in the ball game, then it kind of went away. What happened?
I don't know. They just they started getting off blocks, and I think we got a little bit impatient on some things. We were trying to do too much running the ball instead of reading our keys and hitting holes, and we were trying to bounce and do too much. And we just got to stick with our game plan, and I think a lot of that had to do with us getting up early, and we felt like we were in control of the game, and we got away from what we do best. And the reason that we got ahead in that game is because we were doing what we were taught to do.
And you mentioned before the yardage they made on first down. They really took that to us in the second half, especially more than anybody has all year.
Yeah, they really have. It's unfortunate our defense just could not win on first down, and it seemed like they were 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 4 almost every single time, and your defense has got their back to the wall at that point. We just needed to do a better job on first down and did not do it.
Well, we have media folks here talking to Coach Dean post-game this afternoon following a very tough loss, 34-29 to the Argonauts of West Florida, and we'll open it up to questions right now. Anybody have something for the coach?
Coach Dean, Willie usually pretty good about getting out and scrambling. Looked like they might have had a spy on him maybe throughout the game. Just what do you think West Florida was doing to not let Willie be able to make plays with his feet today?
I think they did a really good job with their 2 interior guys of pushing straight back, and when he had an opportunity to step up, they were there. And they did a good job of bringing guys off the edge and not allowing him to get out wide in there. We just didn't do a very good job of protection, and I think a lot of times it forced Willie to get a little bit foot happy in the pocket instead of stepping in there and making throws. He all of a sudden he starts looking at the rush a little bit. So give them credit. They did a good job of interior getting pushed straight back into his lap a lot of times.
Okay.
Coach, you alluded to the offensive line. What did you feel the main issue was after the first quarter, where the running game wasn't able to?
Well, they started moving a lot and running some slants and twists and different things like that, which is always going to cause some confusion in some things you do. And we just didn't do a good job of communication and deciphering things out. very well. And again, it's not all on the running back. It's not all on the offensive line. We got to hit holes. We got to read what we're doing and not try to make things happen and score touchdowns every time we touch the ball. And I think a lot of that was when we got up 16-0. Everybody wanted to get their hand in and score, and thought that we were going to just run off the field on these guys. And they're a good football team. They weren't going to allow us to do that, and they made some adjustments, and those adjustments were very good.
Football, such a game of momentum. They got it in the second quarter. Just talk about how big it was early in the second half, the turnover, then that crazy play in the end zone where it ricochets right to it.
Yeah, that's crazy. We make a great play. We got a guy right there to make the interception. It pops up and then it hits our player on the foot, and it goes right to them. And it was their day. Unfortunately, the luck was with them. They made that play there and gave them the lead. But you can't let that bother you. You gotta throw that behind. And again, we had our opportunities early, and we let them back in the ball game. And I say let them back in the ball game. They got back in the ball game. It wasn't like they're not a good football team. They are. I said that leading into this week. They're probably the hottest team in our conference right now in the way that they're playing. They were playing with a lot of confidence. They brought a lot of confidence in, and that one-handed catch right before the half just exuded that. I mean, it was that was a big-time play for them, and you could tell their sideline got really excited from that point on.
Coach, what did you briefly, I know you didn't have a long time to spend with your team before coming in here, but what did you briefly tell your team, just to keep their spirits up and, just let them know that, you're still proud of them?
Well, I did. I told them I was proud that, we kept fighting back. And I said the big thing is we don't know if our season's over, right? We had everything in our hands, and we let it out of our hands. So now it's in somebody else's hands right now, and we got to have a lot of help in this region. But I don't want them to have the mindset that the season's over, because we could end up playing again, and to turn that switch back on is extremely tough. They're disappointed. I know our seniors are disappointed. I'm disappointed for our seniors that they play their last regular season game in that stadium, that beautiful stadium, and don't come away with a victory. But if things work out and the right people lose, maybe we can slip in. And that's what we want to do, is we want to be one of those 28 that has the opportunity to make that push.
Do we have anything else from the group here? Coach, I'll ask you, how do you look at a team like that? Go ahead, Corey, if you got some. You've been looking at them face-to-face since 1st of August, this group, and they've given you an awful lot. That's that kind of a bond you have with the football team, isn't there?
Well, it is, and it's always tough when it's over, whether you win it all or whether you don't. Knowing that you played that last game is very, very difficult, and hopefully it's not our last game. We got some seniors in there that still got some things they want to do, and we did. I think we grew together as a football team. Today, we just did not finish off what we intended to do and what we sat in here in August and talked about we wanted to do as a football team. We didn't do it today, and that's very, very disappointing. But again, if this is the end, I credit our seniors. What a great year, 8-3. There's a lot of people around the country that would take 8-3. Unfortunately, we lost one game at home. We lost 2 on the road. We had a lot of big wins. We made a lot of great plays, but we needed to make one today, and we didn't do it. And I feel bad for our seniors if this was their last football game.
Did the 16-0 come too fast? I've heard the old saw, especially with the first play. Well, that was too easy. Is there such a thing?
Well, there is. Like I said, we score on the first play of the game, when then we go right back down, and we should have been up 13-0, or really 14-0 if we have a good snap. And then we come right back down and score again. And I think our kids kind of felt like, well, this is going to be kind of a walk away, and they're too good. And I warned them, I said, this team, you better put them away, because they're so good on offense and they make so many plays and got so many weapons that they're going to be a force. And we just didn't do that. And from the whole aspect, offense, defense, and special teams, we let them back in the game, and they took advantage of it and ended up knocking us off today.
To their credit, Coach.
To their credit, yes, it's an outstanding job.
Do we have anything else we'll add with Coach Dean before we wrap it up today? That will be it, Coach. Thank you for this all season long. And, of course, let's hope we're talking still about a game 12. We'll know at 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon.
I hope so.
Thank you, Coach David Dean. Thanks, Game Report, Coach David Dean. Been brought to you again today by SMI, Systems and Methods Incorporated. And thanks for joining us again. And go Wolves.